How's everybody doing this week? I'm Matty Hundo, and this is episode 4 of Keepin' It a Hundo. So some people have asked me, what kind of show is this exactly? Okay, fair enough. My guests have included 2 pro athletes and a homeless guy. Today's episode makes it 3 pro athletes. Well, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what this show is, but I can promise you this. My guests will come from all different walks of life. My goal is to not only entertain, but at times to inspire and inform. And you know, I'll always keep it 100. Remember, you can find Keepin' It a Hundo on the Apple Podcast app, or for Android users, you can find it on Google Play Music or SoundCloud. Subscribe, download, rate, and review, all that good stuff. And to those who have been supporting Keepin' It a Hundo, I can't thank you enough. Coming up on today's episode, my friend and WNBA legend, Ticha Penicheiro. Ticha Penicheiro left Figueira da Foz, Portugal in 1994 to play basketball at Old Dominion University in Virginia. She never dreamed that 18 years later she would retire from a 14-year WNBA career as the all-time leader in assists and one of the greatest players of all time. Ticha played the game with a certain flair that fans weren't used to seeing women play with. She knows and loves the game as much as anybody I've ever met. It's not just Ticha's abilities on the court, but her humility and respect for the game that have made her a true pioneer. Her career brought her all over the world, and she still works in basketball as a player agent. My friendship with Ticha has always been rooted in 3 things: basketball, travel, and food. In our conversation today, we explore these things and some others. Good to have you here. I'm here with my good friend Ticha Penicheiro, WNBA star.
X-Star. Yeah, those days are gone.
Retired WNBA star, Ticha Penicheiro. Fresh out of Black Panther. How was the movie, Ticha?
It was great, actually. I'm definitely not a superhero type of person, but my friend was like, "Let's go!" And I know everybody was gonna go watch it, and I didn't want to be left out. So it was pretty good. Great casting, and the movie was 2 hours and 15 minutes, but it went by pretty fast. So it was pretty exciting. I'm glad I went.
So I've been getting a lot of heat from my girl because I don't want to go see it because I'm not an action hero, superhero supporter. I just don't go to those movies. Not my thing. And I guess I'm not supporting the cause. I guess I got to get in there and support it.
Yeah, you should, and I think you're not gonna be disappointed. Like, again, I went with an open mind. I wasn't really, I didn't even see the trailer, so I really didn't know what to expect. I know it was about a superhero, Black Panther, or whatever, but I went in with an open mind, and I really enjoyed it. It was great, there's a little bit of humor in it, great storyline. So it's
all right. I'll get in there. I'll check it out. So let's get into some basketball, because that's mostly what we're gonna be talking about.
Of course.
All right. Where did the Penicheiro family get their love for basketball? Because Ticha comes from Portugal, not exactly a basketball hotbed, not a lot of people to watch growing up play.
Right.
So where did that love come from?
My dad and my brother. I have an older brother that also played basketball, so we definitely just ran in a family. My dad played for a long time, and then he was a coach. And I have a 5-year-old brother that is 5 years older than me, and he also played. So by the time I turned 4 or 5, my brother already played, so it was pretty easy for me to just kind of get sucked into the game. I always followed him around with his friends. I know I was probably cramping his style because every time girls would try to talk to him, I would be right there, and I'd be like, And I was very lucky. I had a playground like literally across the street from my house, which also in Portugal, they're not very popular. You don't have one on every corner like you do in the States.
But you have basketball hoops up and everyone plays soccer on the court.
Exactly.
I know that's what they do.
Yeah, so, Portugal is a soccer country. Everybody knows Ronaldo now. Thank God people know where Portugal is now because of him. But I definitely just grew up playing basketball with my brother, and a lot of times I was the only girl in the middle of a bunch of boys. And I wasn't accepted at first because I was little and skinny and they didn't want to hurt me, but slowly they were like, oh, she's not bad. She can play with us.
So your brother and his friends would let you hop in some of their pickup games.
Yeah, I mean, by the time I got to like 8, 9 years old,
Yeah.
that definitely helped. When I was younger, 5, 6.
That definitely helps a girl get better at basketball.
Absolutely. And I think that's why I passed so much because, the guys are stronger. They come to block your shot. And I was like, not today. And I always find the open person, to deliver the ball to.
So speaking of the way you play, growing up in Portugal, did you get to see a lot of basketball on TV? From watching the way you play, I would almost assume that you watched a lot of Celtics-Lakers games in the 80s. I know those were big in Europe. Like sometimes those are the only teams that people saw in Europe, and you saw the style that Larry Bird and Magic Johnson play with, and that's where you got that flair.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy to think about it, but, I'm a 70s baby. I don't want to really tell my age, even though I don't care. But when I grew up...
Older than 20, younger than 50.
Yep, in that range. But I grew up with 2 channels. Right, so that's all we had. It was 2 channels, and every Sunday afternoon around 3 o'clock, they would show one NBA game. So we had one NBA game a week. They picked like the game of the week, and they would show it. And at that time, I would like be on my couch with my brother and my dad watching the NBA game. And I definitely grew up watching Magic. He was my favorite player. I always played point guard. I loved to have the ball in my hands, and then obviously I would try to go to the playground and emulate what I saw him doing. And then I grew up to be 5'11", and I continued to play point guard, which for women's basketball, it's pretty a nice height for a point guard. So
absolutely, I won't hold it against you that you're a Lakers fan.
I was a Magic fan. Honestly, I was a Bulls fan because Michael Jordan was my favorite player. So, but we didn't really play like it was more of a scorer. And then Magic, of course, was a point guard that was more of a passer, even though he could score. So, but my favorite team growing up was the Bulls for sure.
Okay.
So I know you were a Celtics guy because my daddy's always like, if my brother and I like one team, my dad likes the other one, just to to make it, to spice it up. So my dad was definitely a Larry Bird fan and a Celtics fan.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You get some points for that. So just to give an example of the lack of basketball quality coming out of Portugal, who are some of the best players? Not to shit on any of them, but you don't have a whole lot of big names coming out of Portugal.
No, I mean the names that I grew up watching in the men's league, nobody really knows who they are.
And the biggest players that would make any sense to people who watch basketball in the U.S. would be people who maybe went D1 in the U.S. and played some college hoops. Yeah,
maybe, but you have to like Google and do some research because I don't think even people would just come up with some names. I know because some of them were my friends, and I know they came here. Like I did.
Like my boy Paulo, who played at UM.
Right.
We got one of them.
Yeah, so we actually are from the same city. He was almost like my neighbor. The playground that I'm talking about? You could see it from his window to the playground, and I was across the street, so we were almost neighbors. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of Portuguese basketball players, men or women, that have been successful. We never had a player in the NBA, so hopefully one day we will have a guy in the NBA that can represent Portugal. But it's definitely a country that is not known for any major basketball player. So
I'll say it safe to say Ticha's the most famous basketball player to ever come out of Portugal.
Yeah, you said it, but it is true. It's a small country,
Absolutely.
So I mean, my success I think speaks for itself. My resume. So I was successful, and honestly, when I left Portugal to come to Old Dominion, I didn't think that I was going to have the career that I had. So I'm definitely blessed, and I'm glad that I took that chance. And it was a little bit of a step in the dark, but I'm glad that I took that chance.
So let's move on to Old Dominion. You pretty much dominated, I'm sure, basketball in Portugal because there wasn't a high level of competition. And you went to a camp over in the U.S., and that's how you got found by Old Dominion?
Well, yes. There was this lady, her name is Alison Green, and she played professional in Portugal, but because she went to Dartmouth, she was like super intelligent. I mean, obviously she went to Dartmouth, but then she came to Portugal to play Division I, and she was the American on the team, and she saw me play when I was 15. And after the game, she said, "You should go to the States. You're pretty good." And I said, "I want to, So I gave her my number, which was my dad's, my parents' home number, like our home phone number,
That's all we had back then.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like I had a cell phone. So she became the assistant coach at Old Dominion 3 years later. So she told the head coach, yo, I saw this girl in Portugal. She's pretty good. You need to check her out. But meanwhile, there was other schools that I don't know how got a hold of some of my information, and I came to Pace University in New York and to do a camp that this guy in Portugal organized. So I was always obsessed with the States, and I knew that I wanted to come here if I had the chance. And we were playing, and after the camp, she wrote a note and gave it to our coach to give to me. And, I came from Portugal. I don't understand the NCAA rules, but I was kind of upset. I'm like, I don't want to go to Florida. He was the Florida coach. I said, she can't even talk to me. She gives me a note, like, I don't want to go to Florida. She's rude.
Yeah, be more personable.
Yeah, exactly. But she couldn't. So because
she was following the rules.
Exactly. So, but the Alison Green, that was the lady that played in Portugal and then became the assistant coach at Old Dominion. Just because I had the connection with her, she actually learned how to speak Portuguese. It just made sense for me to go to Old Dominion. So I actually took a trip and took my visit, and I signed on my visit. So so it was pretty cool.
So what was more difficult for you to adjust to? The American game or the American culture? Because you had spent your whole life in Portugal.
I think the classes, because everything was in English. And even though I spoke English, it wasn't perfect. So
you always spoke English? You learned it in school as a kid?
My brother, we took English in high school, but my brother also played professional at the time, and he also had like 1 or 2 Americans on his team, and they always came over to my house. My mom used to cook for them. So I had a very close encounter at a young age with the American culture, whether it was the music, movies, basketball on TV, and then also communicating with the Americans on my brother's team. So that definitely helped with my adjustment. But I think taking classes in English, I remember being super focused and like trying to write everything that the professor was saying. But I mean, honestly, I realized that it was pretty easy to study here, the multiple choice tests and all that. I was like, oh, this is cool. It lasted 1 semester that I was really focused in school, and then I was like, oh, this is piece of cake.
Were you surprised that you were able to dominate the college game in the States the way you did pretty fast? You dominated the way Magic Johnson dominated, not by scoring, but by just controlling the game, the pace, and making people around you better.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I thought basketball-wise, I didn't know if I was going to start as a freshman. I know that that's not very common here. Freshmen usually have to, pay their dues and like ride the bench, and then by sophomore, junior, that's when they really start. And I really didn't know, but I was confident enough that I could possibly at least get 15, 20 minutes a game. But we played in a very weak conference, I could say, the CAA at the time. And all our games were pretty much blowouts. We would like blow everybody by 30, 40. So I thought that was easy. But we had always a tough schedule out of conference. So we played the Tennessees, the UConns, the Stanfords. And that's when I was like, oh, okay, so the level of NCAA is pretty tough. We just don't play in a tough conference. So when we played those games, I mean, it was harder for me, but from freshman on the way to senior, like I got a lot of minutes right away.
2-time All-American, 2-time Conference Player of the Year, and ODU was already pretty much a top-tier basketball school for women because of Nancy Lieberman. Mm-hmm. So it was also a very progressive university.
Yeah.
They offered the first female athletic scholarship in the state of Virginia to Nancy Lieberman. What was your relationship with Nancy? She was a hoop pioneer pretty much for women.
It was funny because, I mean, I didn't know who she was because I was in Portugal. I mean, back then we didn't have internet. It's not like I can Google, who played for Old Dominion, who these people are. So I remember being Midnight Madness, and I'm a freshman, and we are meeting like all of the fans and everybody that have been fans of the university and the Lady Monarch basketball for the last 20 years. So this guy comes up to me, and he's this, I don't know, maybe 6-year-old man that has been following the Lady Monarch basketball, and he said, hey, I heard you play like Nancy. And I said, who is Nancy? And he was like, Nancy Lieberman? And I'm like, oh, I've heard of her, but honestly, I don't know because I never seen her play. I know she's a point guard. And he was like, would you be able to hit somebody with an elbow and, just keep it moving? And I'm like, probably not. And he was like, no, you don't play like Nancy. But, I mean, Nancy actually is a great supporter of Old Dominion. She came, actually, the first time I met her, I was here in Miami because we came for a tournament around Christmas time. And I met her son, TJ, that at the time was a baby. I still have a picture with her and TJ. And she's been somebody that has supported me from day one. I call her big sister. She calls me little sister. And she's somebody that after I watched the highlights, I was like, oh, yeah, I definitely play like Nancy. You know, somebody that was very flashy, had a passion for the game, played point guard, got her teammates involved, scored, and, super competitive. And when I got a chance to watch her play, I definitely became a fan right away.
There was a couple other ODU alum that are noteworthy. Have you ever met Ken Bazemore?
Yeah. Kent, yeah. Kent is like...
He's probably the most recent good player to come out of there.
I mean, he's a great NBA player, and he wasn't even drafted. You know, the Golden State Warriors gave him a chance, and he grabbed it with two hands. Somebody that works extremely hard. He's always up to a challenge. He always wants to guard the best player on the other team, and he really, nothing was given to him. He earned everything and every dollar that he has gotten in the NBA, and now he's not like we good friends, but we are very cordial. And I've met him because I was playing in Sacramento when he was with the Warriors. So I actually went down there and we met, and we definitely have that Old Dominion pride. So that bond, that bond for life.
Yeah, he's definitely getting paid.
Yeah, he is. And
what
he
about
deserves it,
ESPN SportsCenter host Jay Harris?
Yeah, great guy. Jay is one of my favorite people. Just very humble. I mean, I see him on TV every day, every time, every morning. I drink my coffee and watch.
Did you know him
SportsCenter.
at school? Or?
Yeah, I met him there. I mean, I've seen him, and I knew that he went to Old Dominion, but I had a chance about maybe 5-6 years ago that I went back to go to homecoming. Is it a homecoming that you call it?
Yep.
Yeah. So he was there. So I got a chance to meet him, and we became, good friends. We text here and there, and he's somebody that I respect a ton, and I think he's a great professional. I love to see him on SportsCenter. Always has his fancy socks, and he's super funny because that people at the ESPN, they have to write their own scripts, like when they go on air with SportsCenter. So I think he's super funny, great professional, and I really enjoy watching him on TV.
What about this one? I think slight chance you've met him. Justin Verlander?
I haven't. I know who he is, of course, but I've never met him.
He's one of the best pitchers in the game.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the WNBA. So you get taken, second in the draft?
Yeah, 98.
1998, you go second in the draft to Sacramento. Mm-hmm. You spend 12 years there.
Yep.
Talk about that a little bit. Clearly, you establish yourself as one of the top 15, top 20 WNBA players of all time. That's official on the what is that called? When they came out and announced that.
Top 20 at 20. That was
top 20 years into the existence of the WNBA.
2 years ago, the league this year is going to their 22nd year. So 2 years ago, during the WNBA finals, they voted for the top 20. In the 20th year anniversary of the league. So I made the cut. So that was pretty awesome. And not in my wildest dreams the day I left Portugal to come to the States to go to Old Dominion with a scholarship. I thought that I was going to stick around this long and be this successful and be able to really have a great career in America. I mean, coming from Portugal, I'm now an American citizen. I never went back. I go back often to visit my family and to eat some bacalhau, but I never in a million years would thought that I was going to be this successful. So
I've had her mom's bacalhau. It's very good.
It's pretty good, huh?
Very good. It's not the same as my grandma's, but it's good.
So the draft. So this is 1998.
Who went first that year?
Well, it's a crazy story because Utah had the first pick. And the coach from Utah came to Old Dominion. They were like, we're going to take you as the number one pick. And I'm looking at them like, I don't want to go to Utah. I was straight up. I was just like, but hey, I can even get excited because,
You're excited to go to Sacramento?
Well, I was like, it's California, it can be, so.
You probably had never been there either, right?
I've never been there. Before the draft, they had a combine in Chicago, and there's this girl comes from Poland, and she's legit 7'2". Actually, I used to play against her when I played. Yeah, when I played with the Portuguese national team, and we played against Poland. So I knew who she was, and I knew that people probably thought it was a typo, and she was 6'2". And I'm like, no, listen, she's 7'2", legit, and she can play.
Really?
She was very skilled.
I'm assuming she was terrible. She could play?
No, she could play.
How come I haven't heard of her?
Her name is Margot Didek.
Oh, I think I've heard of her.
Yeah, so...
She played a little bit in the WNBA, right?
Yeah, she was the number one pick. She stole it from me, so thankfully she went to Utah, and I ended up going to Sacramento, which is crazy when you think about it because It's like, what if she never came, I would have gone to Utah. Where would I be right now?
Who knows where your career would have
Exactly.
gone.
It's like, stuff like that is just, one of my favorite movies is Sliding Doors. I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't. I know it. I haven't seen it.
So it's just like how your life can change.
One door opens,
with like
closes
1
or
second
whatever,
or one choice or whatever. So Margot, God bless her soul, she actually passed away like about 5 years ago of a heart attack. But anyways, I ended up playing with Margot overseas because I played 2 years in Poland, so we were on the same team. But because of Margot, I ended up going number 2 to Sacramento and played 12 years there until the team folded.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie.
So you were all-time assist leader until last year.
Yep.
Sue Bird broke your record.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were very happy for her.
Yeah, I was very happy for her. Records are meant to be broken, and I'm a huge fan of Sue, not just the player that she's on the court, but the person that she is off the court. And if somebody's going to break your record, especially a record that I had like all time of something, it has to be somebody that is pretty special. And so I'm glad that, the record is definitely in good hands because Sue is all that in a bag of chips, and I'm a super fan. And I think,
she's
still playing. My dad was like, if she retires, sign a 10-day contract. Yeah. So.
You still hold the record, I believe, for most steals in a game?
Yeah.
10 steals in a game?
Yeah.
Come on.
They call me Klepto now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Put the cuffs on you.
I love defense. A lot of people know me from my passes, and I honestly don't think that I got enough credit. Like my teammates and my coaches, they knew that I could like not lock somebody up because it's hard to do in the WNBA.
If somebody's a scorer, they're going to score.
Yeah,
You just have to make
exactly.
it difficult for them.
But I always took pride in my defense, and I always enjoyed guarding the best player on the other team. I really didn't like guarding point guards, but thankfully I was 5'11". Usually our 2 guards were 5'7", 5'8", so they take the point guards, and I usually take the 2 or the 3 player.
Yep.
And I know that I play good defense for sure. And sometimes you have a lot of steals. That doesn't mean you play good defense.
Absolutely.
But I was able to, to deny the ball and create hard time for the person to score, but I also got a lot of steals.
So who would you consider your biggest rival as an individual, not a team, but what player was your rival in the league?
I think in the beginning, maybe Teresa Weatherspoon. I think we had similar style of play. She played for New York, and she was super intense. And I remember great defender as well. And I remember the first time I played her, I was like, oh my God, am I going to be able to like take on, because she was older, she was more of a veteran, she had been playing overseas, she played in Russia. So I think in the beginning it was her, and then it was a little bit of, maybe Sue and Lindsay Whalen. Both of them still play right now. Lindsay plays for Minnesota, and Sue plays for Seattle, and those are 2 people that I really enjoyed going against, great professionals and great competitors. So they still balling. So they're a little younger than me.
So who was the best player you ever played with?
In the WNBA?
Yeah, let's go WNBA.
I mean, in the WNBA, I played with Yolanda Griffith and in Sacramento. Great player. Rebecca Brunson, she's the only player right now that has 5 rings in the WNBA. Nobody has 5 rings. In LA, I was able to play with Alicia Milton-Jones, Tina Thompson, and I played with Candace Parker. But the year that Candace and I played together, she had a little bit of trouble with her shoulder, so she missed a lot of games because of injury. But overseas, I played like with Lisa Leslie. We both played together in Russia.
Really hard to say.
Lauren Jackson, Diana Taurasi. I played with like all these players in Russia, so it's crazy. And then in the All-Star game, I mean, it was like everybody. So I was very, very blessed and very lucky because to be a point guard and to have all those assists, you can't do it by yourself. So you definitely have to have great teammates, great coaching staff, and I played my best when my coaches let me play and they didn't put me in a box. I really enjoy having fun and play a little bit of playground type of basketball, and when I had the green light to do what I did and they gave me the confidence and they trusted me, that's when I played my best. But I definitely played with amazing teammates. Ruthie Bolton, I mean, I don't know.
You play with some of the best players.
Yeah. Olympians, all-stars.
I never get a straight answer out of any of you. Everyone's always afraid to hurt someone's feelings.
No, it's just too many to name.
Too many to name. So we've been on the road before. I was at a WNBA All-Star Weekend with you. Mm-hmm. And you guys pretty much, it seems like you have groupies. You have WNBA groupies?
There's some out there. Yeah.
But it's different than like the men have groupies, and their groupies want to want to get in the draws. With yours, it's more like they just want to like be around you, or
Yeah, they know probably everything about you. I mean,
is
in
it
these
guys
days,
and girls? It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's both.
probably both.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and now with social media, people feel like they really know you because they see what you post and you got a dog and where you've been and what you ate. So they feel like they're part of your life.
Yeah.
And sometimes, we can't afford to be rude to the fans. I think the WNBA needs their fans, and I think we always try to welcome the fans, but there's a line that sometimes you don't want people to cross. So you try to be nice, but sometimes you just got to keep a little bit of privacy. But yeah, there's some groupies out there. I mean, it's all love for them. As long as they don't cross that line, I think we all got love for them.
Definitely saw some creeps. Retired WNBA player Candace Wiggins said there was bullying throughout the league, and she was targeted for being straight. I saw you had some comments on ESPN.com about it. She claimed 98% of the league is gay.
I don't know what kind of grade she had in math. I mean, she went to Stanford, and 98%,
can't be a dummy, right?
It's like two people, so I don't know where she got that number. I think she was trying to publish a book, and she needed some publicity. They always say any publicity is good,
right.
Better, So I think that's what she was just trying to stir the pot and create some buzz and put her name out there so people will be like, oh, maybe, I'm going to buy her book because
and we're talking about her now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I knew who her dad was. I remember having his baseball card when I was a kid. But I wouldn't be talking about, I would never repeat her name if she didn't say that.
Right. And I mean, at the end of the day, listen, she didn't have maybe the career that she wanted because she's not even in the league anymore. And I respected her because I respected everybody. But that was just completely out of line. First of all, it's a false statement. And second of all, is like, you don't, even if it was true, like, who are you to, to call people out like that? So,
do the players even care who's gay and straight?
No. I mean, they don't care. It's like, you're happy, it's cool. Can you ball? Like, can you help us win games? That's really all you care about.
So what do you think the biggest issue with the WNBA team off the court? I know in a lot of men's sports, two of the biggest issues that men argue about is gambling debts and women. They might be messing with the same chicks, playing a lot of cards on team flights. You owe me this, you owe me that. You got the Javaris Crittenden, Gilbert Arenas episode, pulling a gun in the locker room. What would you say are the biggest issues in a woman's team chemistry or whatnot?
I think women sometimes a little petty and sensitive. So sometimes, like, the only thing that I can tell that it could be a problem, like sometimes in practice, if you really go hard at your teammate and you hit her or something, like all of a sudden it's like, you don't guys stop talking. I mean, guys, that happens. They shake hands, they go to lunch or whatever, and women just hold grudges a little bit. But I mean, all that stuff that you see in the men's, I mean, first of all, they cannot play cards in their flights because we don't fly private. So you be on Southwest, you gotta. First of all, you try to fight to get an exit row. So that's the first thing. But there's no, people playing cards and no planes. And I think because we also don't make that kind of money, people will tight with their money. So now there's no gambling going on.
What's it like on a team flight when you're sharing a row with maybe a married couple who's headed to LA for a weekend away and you're headed there for a game?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, sometimes on back-to-backs, we are like mandatory by the league to take the first flight out. So let's say the first flight out is 6 a.m. So you have to be at the airport at 5, 4:45, 5. You played the night before. You didn't go to sleep probably until 1 a.m. So you are like rolling on 3 hours of sleep. You're tired. You're hungry. You just want to, and then you have somebody that just wants to chit-chat the whole flight. And you don't want to be rude and put your headphones and be like, look here. So you have to find a nice way to say, look, I'm tired. I played last night and I actually have a game tonight. And I'm trying to catch some Z's. So cut me some slack. But, that's the thing about commercial flights, that you have to stand in line and fight for exit row. Sometimes you got people that are 6'6" and they are, stuck in the middle seat, all the way in the back of the plane. And there's a person that is 5'2" in the exit row and they're not going to get up and give their seat up. So that's the thing that the WNBA is to deal with. I always tell the college players that come out, I'm like, going to the WNBA is a step down because most of them fly
These D1 programs.
Yeah, D1 programs that have so much luxury, and they come from private planes and all this stuff, and all of a sudden they have to go to WNBA, and it's actually a step down from what they are used to it. Yeah.
So do you feel like NBA players give you guys the respect that you deserve? When you had interactions with NBA players, do you feel like they respected
100%.
you guys and respect your game?
100%. I feel like, I mean, I cannot say the percentage is 100% that all NBA players respect the WNBA and respect women players, but the ones that I know and the ones that I've had conversations with are 100% WNBA fans. And I remember when I played in Sacramento, and this is when the Kings were really good. You know, you had Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, Peja, Jason Williams. They all would come to the games. They'll be front row, courtside, cheering us on. And
that was a fun team.
Yeah, and it's not like they got paid to come. You know, they really wanted supporters, and you know, and I feel like that. I mean, I go to the Mystics games all the time because I live in Washington in the summertime. John Wall comes to their games. Bill, I mean, it's a support. They know that women can play. You know, the people out there on Instagram commenting and being women haters, they're the ones that they don't believe that, but they probably never even watch a game, and they probably can't even play themselves. So,
do you feel like there's a woman you've seen play that could play in the NBA, or do you think that would ever happen someday?
Mentality, like I think their mentality, like Diana Taurasi would be up there. I feel like our mentality was very much Kobe-ish, you know, as far as I think.
And skill set.
And skill set as well, but it's just like physically it will be very hard.
Yeah.
Probably Brittany Griner, but I mean she's 6'8", but then what? You would have to play the 2 or the 3. You know, you can play a 5.
Yeah.
So I mean it's just hard because I think physically it will be very hard for any woman to compete at the highest level on the men's. But I mean you can go play pickup with some guys and be okay, you know. But to be at the highest level, like the best women player to play in the NBA, it would be a bust. I think.
I feel like you'd have to be probably like a point guard or something, and be fast and be skilled.
Yeah, but then
you don't have to be super strong.
But then you're going to go against Westbrook?
Right.
And they're going to play a full court.
Nobody can athletically stand up to Westbrook.
So it's just, you know, I think just physically it's very, very, very hard.
Yeah. Have you ever dated any NBA players?
I wouldn't say dated. I mean, I went out on, you know, a few dinners or whatever, but, you know, dated like as far as a relationship, no, I don't believe in that. They're all players. I knew better than that. So
along the way, you've met a lot of people, NBA players, probably, I mean, you played in LA, probably actors and actresses and celebrities and stuff. Anybody you met who you were just completely starstruck by?
I don't really get starstruck right there, but Michael Jordan was like the number one guy that when I met him, and to me it was like when they knew who I was.
Yeah, that would be a little
messed me up. I was like, oh my God, he knows who I am.
Yeah.
And same with Magic and LeBron.
Yeah.
So like those are the 3 guys that LeBron of course still plays, and I look up to him. I'm like a big fan of LeBron. But then Magic and Michael.
LeBron looks up to you. You don't look up to him. He's a youngin.
I know. He got all these passing skills from watching me play.
Who have you played pickup ball with that maybe surprised you that they had game?
They don't do it anymore. During the NBA All-Star weekend, we had the 3-on-3. Now they just do like the celebrity game or whatever. But like Justin Timberlake actually plays pretty well. Like he practices, like he plays hard. He tries to D you up. So he's somebody that we actually played in. What is it, 2002, I think, in Philly, NBA All-Star.
When you do like one WNBA, one NBA, and one celebrity or something.
One former NBA.
So,
and actually, I was playing for the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah.
And we won, like, the 3-on-3. Don't ask me how we did it because, like...
Who'd you have, Vlade?
No, we had Hundo.
Oh, that's right.
Hundo and Marcellonis, the lefty from Lithuania. And who was our celebrity? I don't even remember. Like, that's how bad he was. But seriously, like, LA had Magic, Lisa Leslie, Derek Fisher, and Brian McKnight. And Brian can also play.
Oh, he can play. I've seen him play.
You know? And Philly had Dawn Staley, Moses Malone, Justin Timberlake, and who was the NBA player? I don't even know how we won, but we won. I know there was a little survey online on the NBA page who's going to win the 3-on-3, and I think we had 1 vote. I think my dad voted for us. But yeah, we won. But Justin definitely can play. He plays hard.
You played in Russia, Latvia, Italy, Poland, France, Czech Republic, and I think Turkey. Mm-hmm. You played in all those places?
Yeah.
Some longer than others?
Yeah.
Some of them were probably pretty quick?
Yeah.
Did I miss any?
Czech Republic was quick, and Turkey because I played half of the season in Czech Republic. I went to replace Lindsay Whalen because she was hurt and she could only come after Christmas. And then after that, I went to Turkey, so it was like a half and half type of situation. But yeah, I played 3 years in Italy for 3 different teams. I played 3 years in Russia, 2 years in Poland, half a season in Latvia. So yeah, I've been all over the world playing.
What was your favorite place to play?
As a country, Italy, no doubt. The food, the fashion, the language, the people, I love it. I lived in Milan for a year and I was just like in heaven. But as far as being competitive and the league and all of that, it was Russia.
Okay.
We had this guy that was like a millionaire and he really took care of us. That's how I felt. I was like, oh, this is how the NBA players feel. Like 5-star hotels, everybody got their own room. We flew private. We made good money. So it was definitely Russia.
Which country could you not get out of fast enough?
Russia as well. It's crazy because
you didn't enjoy living there.
It's just hard because it was minus 40 like the whole month of January. So even though I had a driver, so I really didn't feel the cold that much because he would drop me off in front of the gym.
But there's nothing to do. You can't go outside.
Yeah, exactly. So it just made it hard. And then the season is so long. It's like 8 months. By the time February, March hits, you're just like, oh my God. And I feel like the days will go so slow. But as women, we have to hustle and play all year round to make ends meet. So
yeah. So what's the salary discrepancy between the team so Russia, obviously they took care of you guys pretty well. I know they pay well. A lot of big name players still go over to Russia.
Yeah.
Did they pay double what the WNBA was paying you or more?
Oh, more.
More.
Yeah. I mean, the max salary right now in the WNBA is $115. Okay, we're talking about
so how many people
4
get
months,
that?
you know?
One player in every team,
one
maybe?
player. Yeah, but the
There's a
other
max
ones, I mean, you
contract.
get by 110. I mean, you get a lot of players get 6 figures, but there's a salary cap. So, the rookies are like $50,000 for 4 years. So. And then that's before taxes. Then you get hit with Uncle Sam, so you really make peanuts.
So every American who goes over to Europe is getting...
Yeah. So probably 3 times more.
Okay.
If you are a good player, like if you're below average, then you make about the same. But, yeah.
So in all the different places you live, different countries, were there any customs that you found strange or maybe tough to adjust to?
Some of the food, I mean, I'm European, so to me, the fish coming into my plate with the head on it and the eyes, there was no problem to me. But some of my teammates was like, oh my God, he's looking at me, take this thing out of here. So I'm like, yo, it's okay. But yeah, so mostly it was just the culture as far as the language or the food that was the big thing. But it was easy to adjust for me. So
you're pretty active on social media.
I try to be.
Instagram, Facebook. Do you have anything else?
Twitter.
Snapchat? Twitter, okay.
Yeah, no Snapchat.
What's the strangest DM you ever received?
Oh my God, this guy keeps asking me how tall I am. And, sometimes I forget about the DMs. I don't really go in there. And then the people that you don't follow, you have to, click on the other thing. So the other day, and I try to answer everybody,
Because a lot of times it's just fans want to ask you something silly. Or...
So I'm like, why did I answer this guy? Now he keeps asking me how tall I am. And the other day I posted a picture and he was like, you're only taller. So I don't know if he's obsessed with height. Some people are obsessed with feet. I've posted pictures where I'm on the beach with no shoes and people are like, nice toes. And it's always the same people commenting on it. So it's just I'm like, okay, you try to be nice, but then you got those little... I don't want to say weirdos, but something like that, yeah. They be coming in and sliding into your DMs and all that stuff, and I'm just like, I don't have time for that. So,
should Ray Allen not tweet anybody or DM anybody anymore? Should he get off social media?
Oh, why? I don't know nothing about that.
Okay.
I plead the fifth.
Have any random athletes or celebrities tried to get at you?
Yeah, but I kind of already knew them, it wasn't like somebody. And, when I played, social media wasn't super, I didn't, by the time I finished playing, Instagram was just starting. So I was more active on Twitter and Facebook, but...
Did you have MySpace?
No.
Never had it?
I mean, I think I started the thing, but I'm like, what is this?
You never really
this is
use
stupid.
it?
Yeah, I never really use it, so... Yeah, and Snapchat, I'm like, okay, this is way too much stuff going on these days.
I can't do it.
It's like, first of all, it will kill my battery, and it will kill just my time. Time is money, and I don't have time to be on the phone all the time.
Give him your Instagram handle.
My
So they can
name,
follow
so
you.
Ticha Penicheiro, and good luck spelling my name.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Tichapenicheiro.
And your Twitter?
Same.
Same thing.
Yeah.
All right. Follow her. She has a good page. Travels a lot. Good pictures.
Yeah. I try to be quality over quantity for sure.
So you're currently a player agent.
Yeah.
And you work for?
I work for SIG, Sports International Group. I knew that once I was done playing, I wanted to stay close to the game. I love basketball. I love to watch it. I knew that I didn't really want to coach just because I wanted to have a little bit of freedom with my agenda and my time. I pretty much gave half of my life to basketball, and I love it, and I have no regrets, but I didn't want to go back to being inside of a gym watching tape, so I wanted a little bit of a break from that, and being an agent just really gives me the flexibility of being able to travel, see my family, and really work from anywhere. I really just work from my phone.
You may love the game as much as anybody I know.
Yeah,
That's the
I
truth.
do.
And I know our friendship is based a lot on that, and just being able to talk about the game and watch the game, and I appreciate that about you.
Thank you.
And you really know the game.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy the pursuing of clients and trying to convince them to work with you? It seems like a very competitive business.
It is, and the women's is a little different. I don't think I could ever go into the men's side of things because I don't really think some agents sign players because they're the best option for them. Maybe they just gave them other incentives, you know. And in the women's game, we don't really have to worry about that. You know, I think players sign with us because we are a great agency. We have a great reputation. Myself and, you know, my boss that has created his agency from nothing. I mean, he came from Russia with 2 bags and $20 in his pocket, and he really has built an empire. Now we have not just women's basketball, we have football, we represent NFL players, we represent NBA players, so he has really breached out. Now he has like 12 people working for him, and he's a good guy. I wanted to stay close to the game and not just be an agent, but be a mentor for the young generation that is trying to take the steps that I already took.
Who are some of the people you guys represent?
Myself, I have like Kayla McBride, Courtney Vandersloot, Allie Quigley, Ariel Powers, Natalie Changwa. I mean, we have over 100 women basketball players. So I have 30 myself. And I started in this business 5 years ago.
Part-time therapist?
Yeah, I don't really kiss nobody's butt, you know.
But once you have them, they call you for a lot of...
Some of them.
They need a lot of...
Honestly, I wish they used me more like for questions that I could help them with. Not so much, Tish, my internet doesn't work. Tish, my toilet is broken. You know, like I have to fix everything. So, but, you know, this generation, like I never call my agent for anything, you know, unless the
Except
team...
to like sign a contract.
Yeah, or the team in Europe, you know, was 2 weeks late or something like that, which is very normal, unfortunately. But
WNBA all-time dream team.
oh man, how many? 5?
Yep. You got to give me 5, and you got to do it by position. You can't have 5 centers or 5 guards. You got to go.
Okay, I'm not going to put myself in there.
You have to put yourself on.
I have to? Okay, so I guess I'll go with point guard. 2 guard, probably Diana Taurasi. 3 guard, Tamika Catchings. 4, I'm going to go with Candace Parker. And 5, oh man, I have to go with Yolanda Griffin. She was my teammate. I love Lisa Leslie. I love Lauren Jackson. But I'm going to go with my teammate, Yolanda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate you doing that.
Yeah.
NBA all-time dream team.
Ooh, Magic. I'm going to put Kobe at the 2 and LeBron at the 3.
Hold on.
Yeah, I mean.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You forgot somebody.
Who?
His first name's Michael.
Oh, shoot. It's hard.
It
Just
is.
5?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Mount Rushmore. It's like you got to add some more people.
You going whole Lakers backcourt, or you going to go Magic and Michael? Or you going to go Magic and Kobe?
I love Kobe, but I didn't like Kobe. It's like weird. I respected him, but I didn't like him.
Same here.
You know?
Same here.
Okay, you're right. You know, Michael. Yeah, I'm going to go with Michael. Magic, okay. Michael, LeBron.
I thought you were making a statement.
Yeah, nah. I mean, it's just Kobe. He was the Black Mamba. I mean, he was sick.
Yeah.
But, yeah. At the 4, I might go with the Dream, Akeem. And then 5, I'm going with Shaq. Yeah, so I think, it's hard to pick 5.
It's so hard.
It's so hard.
It's so hard. It's just cool putting you on the spot.
Yeah. I was about to forget Michael Jordan. Forget Michael Jordan over Kobe. My brother would kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, true or false, you were recently asked to be on the show The Amazing Race.
True.
What happened?
I just had another race to run. I was like, I can't commit to something if I know that I'm not going to be present. So I actually decided to decline.
My mom would have loved it.
Yeah.
She would have been a big fan. She would have watched.
I would have been training like crazy because I don't want to enter something that I don't know that I'm not going to win. So
What is it? There's some NBA players involved? Or
yeah,
something?
Cedric Ceballos.
He's in it? He's on it?
He asked me because I think somebody approached him and he's like, when they asked him, it was like, oh, Ticha's going to be the best. Like, I'm going to ask her. And then I was like, sorry, I can't do it. So, yeah.
Do you think you should be in the Basketball Hall of Fame?
I don't think that's a decision for me to decide. I think I under-accomplished a lot of things that I was never able to accomplish, like with my national team. I was never an Olympian. I never even competed in a world championship. So as far as like my WNBA career, and if you look at my past, where I came from, and people can argue yes. It's funny because this journalist last year was like last year, 2017, was like, this is the first year. It's been 5 years.
It was last year. Because isn't Tina Thompson up this year?
Yeah, and I told him, I said, don't get your hopes up. It's not going to happen. So I think somebody has to remind somebody that I'm out there. But it's not really something that I can control. Everything that I could have done it to control it, I've done that on the court.
Yeah.
So if it happens, great. But if it doesn't diminish anything that I did on the court. So I'm cool with either way.
We talked about your mom's bacalao.
Mm-hmm.
What's your death row meal?
Woo, probably my mom's bacalao.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, she's here now, and she cooks almost every day, and I really enjoy it. My grandmother was a chef because my grandfather had a restaurant. So, and I mean, one day you'll come to Portugal and you see how good we eat over there. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, the food
Can't
is pretty
wait.
good.
Me and my boy Porno Pete are gonna come over there. Tell the listeners what bacalao is.
Bacalhau. That's
We
how
say bacalà in Italian.
Yeah, bacalhau, it's in Portuguese how we say it. And it's this fish that it's very salty and it's dry, and you have to always bring it over, because I don't know if I can really find it here the way that we eat it in Portugal. You can,
but it's not the same. Yeah.
Right, and you can cook it in so many different ways. So that's the beauty
cold
of it.
in a salad. Sometimes you cook it in the oven.
Yeah, with fries, with eggs, with onions. I mean, there's
potatoes
really
on
a
the
million
side.
ways that you can cook it, yeah.
What's your drink with your meal? What are you having to drink?
Usually water is my favorite drink. I drink a lot of water all day, every day. Alcoholic drink, I don't drink that much, but I would have to go with a mojito.
Of course.
Of course.
Divine. Best looking current NBA player?
Current. That's harder than making the top 5. Yeah, I think Kevin Love is very handsome.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's very, very handsome.
Yeah, I think my girl thinks he's handsome too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's taken though, and so is she.
She sure is. Best looking current WNBA player?
I think there's a few. I think Deladon. I think Candace Parker. It's probably a better question for you, but I think that would be.
I'm going to stay away from that one.
Yeah.
So I was over in Madrid with you at a game, and we saw, I believe, a 16-year-old kid play.
Yep.
Luka Doncic.
He's about to be the number 1 pick, I think.
I think he's going to go second. I think he's going to.
Actually, it's really.
Ayton's going to go first.
Yeah, it's a little bit disappointing this year because I feel like he hit his peak so young that now he's almost like, he's still 18.
Yeah.
But I think people are expecting more. So, and now I think, honestly, he's settling too much for the 3-point shot instead of going down there. And some people are questioning his athleticism, but I think he's a fake slow or a fake. He can jump when he wants to, and he can be quick when he wants to. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays here, if he will come, because now I think like people are like, oh, maybe he's not gonna come or whatever. But I'm a big fan of his. I just hope that he doesn't go into his head and he can stay grounded. That's the main key with his kids. Yeah.
I saw him play once, and I was sold just by his the way he carries himself. As a 16-year-old, he's already in control and makes people around him better. Mm-hmm. What's his comp, do you think? Like, who does he compare to? Like, what type of player in the NBA? Because the listeners are going to be watching this guy for the next 20 years playing the NBA.
I mean, to be as young, like, that's the thing. His body language, his competitive spirit, and the fact that he's been playing the one. And like you said, he can shoot.
He's what, 6'8"?
Yeah, he can shoot the 3-point shot. He has the mid-range, jumper, and he can go all the way. Then he can also pass. He's a great rebounder. So he really has the whole package.
He's playing at the highest level
Yeah.
in Europe as a 16, 17,
And
18-year-old. Real Madrid.
Sergio Llull got hurt, he's really been playing a lot of minutes and taking over. And
Man,
it's-
people in the U.S. have no idea how good that guy is either.
I know. The other day, somebody was saying Luka Doncic is going to be the #1 pick, and people were like, "Who is that?" And I'm like, "Exactly. You guys don't know, but people that need to know, they know."
The Rockets still own Yule, right?
Yeah,
I think they have
Yeah.
his rights. Imagine him on that team
Yeah.
right now.
I know.
I know you're more R&B than hip hop, so give me a top 5 R&B artists instead of top 5 hip hop. Normally I do top 5 hip hop.
Yeah, Beyonce.
Yeah.
For sure. I like Usher. Who else? And I'm definitely like old school, like even I don't even want to say his name, but R. Kelly, like was like one of
He's
my
my favorite.
Yeah,
but
I'm not
it's
scared.
so tough to
yeah,
listen
no,
to him
I'm
now.
like scared of saying anything because I'm like,
Same birthday as me too.
I used to love Brian McKnight. He had all these albums. I used to love him.
He didn't make the cut on my list.
Yeah.
No McKnight, nah.
And for my last one, I'm going old school too, Joe. Yeah.
Stutter.
Yeah. I love way more old school R&B than these days. And the rap as well. I can't even listen to rap right now. Unless it's Jay-Z.
the mumble rap.
It's just like, what are they talking about? I mean, the beats might be nice, but then when you start dissecting what they're saying, I'm like, what? That's what he said? I'm like, yeah. So, yeah, I'm definitely an old school R&B type of situation, type of person, yeah.
Good stuff. It's been fun talking to you.
For sure.
We got to go watch some games now, though.
Yeah.
There's some hoops on tonight.
That's right. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Let's hope that there's some good dunks and all of that.
Yep, NBA All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.
No doubt. Come back.
Yep.
All right. Well, actually, we'll do one from Portugal sometime. I'm going to get over there.
There we go.
All right. That'll do it for episode 4 with my homie Ticha P. That was recorded right before the slam dunk and three-point contest during All-Star Weekend. And for the record, Ticha and I correctly predicted the winners of both. 2 great basketball minds, in my opinion. But thank you for listening, and thanks to everybody who has been sharing this on Facebook and Instagram. I just want to give a shout out to you guys. Committee member Frankie Fofingers and Grayson the Gorilla of the Village in the Bay. Also Mass Pike Miles, Jess Dog, Lorcan, Willie Lump Lump, and young Al Capone down in Quintana Roo. And of course, my Booski. Next week, I'll have a special uninvited guest, so keep your ear to the street. Thanks for listening to Keeping It a Hundo.